Okay, let's dive right into this explainer by confronting a pretty harsh reality. From a very young age, we're basically hardwired to believe that endless wealth is the ultimate cure-all. We're told over and over that if we just hustle harder, earn a little more, well, every single problem is going to vanish. But as that famous old saying goes, the truth is a whole lot more complicated. I mean, think about it. Money can buy you literally the finest, most expensive bed in the world, but it absolutely cannot guarantee you a peaceful night's sleep. It can buy you a custom luxury watch, but it can't buy you a single second of extra time. So today, we're going to break down the data, the real-life anecdotes, and the underlying philosophy of wealth. We're going to completely deconstruct this relentless rat race so many of us are trapped in and really try to answer the big question. Are the richest people in the world actually the happiest? Spoiler alert, the answer might surprise you. So let's get into it. The myth of wealth and happiness. Deconstructing the rat race. You know what's really fascinating to start with? The fact that the world's richest man openly admits his daily reality is defined by unrelentless stress. Just listen to this quote from Elon Musk. It completely shatters our preconceived notions of billionaire bliss, doesn't it? We look at massive wealth from the outside and we only imagine the great highs. We're talking the private jets, the mansions, the total luxury. But we completely ignore those terrible lows and the crushing, constant stress that comes with the risk of a massive fall. And it gets even more personal than just business stress. The crucial point here is that money might buy you almost anything in the material world, but it clearly cannot buy you a family, and it definitely doesn't guarantee healthy, loving relationships. As soon as Elon Musk's daughter turned 18, she literally filed a legal petition to cut all ties with him. It's a pretty stark reminder, isn't it? Even the absolute most abundant financial resources on the planet cannot magically repair a strained father-daughter bond. And this disconnect between immense wealth and marital success is honestly staggering. Check this out. 49%, almost half of all billionaire marriages in America, end in divorce. That basically means every other billionaire is a divorcee. You'd naturally think that having absolutely zero financial worries, which, by the way, is the #1 cause of stress for most average couples, would lead to total marital bliss. But the data tells us the exact opposite story. And just to prove this isn't some isolated incident or a fluke in the data, look at these names. 6 of the top 10 richest people in the world have gone through divorces. We're talking Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Bernard Arnault. These are individuals who have absolutely no shortage of resources. They have access to the best therapists, the best conveniences money can possibly buy. Yet they still struggle to find lasting happiness and stability in their personal lives. And wow, it isn't just marriages that suffer. Even among siblings who already possess hundreds of millions, that boundless greed for just a little bit more can completely tear families apart. Take the Ambani brothers, for example. They engaged in years of bitter, incredibly public court battles over wealth that practically became national entertainment. Or even more tragically, liquor baron Ponti Chadha and his brother. They literally killed each other in a shootout over a financial dispute. Having millions wasn't enough. The desire for more turned fatal. Let's slow down for a second, because it's vital we acknowledge the severe mental health toll here. Immense fame and fortune absolutely did not protect these highly successful individuals from the heavy and sometimes fatal weight of severe depression. Brilliant, universally beloved stars like Robin Williams and Kurt Cobain, or massively successful Indian figures like Pratyusha Banerjee and Kapil Sharma, they all faced incredible darkness. Their money and their fame couldn't buy them joy, and it certainly couldn't buy them peace of mind. This whole dynamic brings to mind that famous philosophical parable of the fisherman. Have you heard this one? A businessman tells a fisherman to stop relaxing, catch more fish, buy a whole fleet of boats, build an empire, and make millions. And when the fisherman asks, well, what do I do after I make millions? The businessman says, then you can finally relax on the beach. To which the fisherman just smiles and replies, but I'm already relaxing on the beach. It's a huge wake-up call. Endlessly hustling just so you can eventually enjoy your life is totally absurd if you can just choose to enjoy your life today. But man, we see the complete opposite of that fisherman's contentment everywhere in our society. The pursuit of more can easily turn into a bottomless pit. I mean, we see highly successful film actors who are already worth billions happily sacrificing their conscience, their public image, and their social responsibility just to earn a few million more by doing surrogate ads for harmful tobacco products. They are completely blinded by the race for more. Okay, but let's impartially address the other side of the coin for a minute, because while it's super clear the ultra-rich are often miserable, we absolutely should not romanticize poverty, not even a little bit. It's incredibly important to ask, if having endless millions isn't the answer, how much money is actually enough to secure a happy, fulfilling life? We really have to be careful here. You know how social media is constantly sharing photos of a poor child studying under a streetlight, slapping the word inspiring across it? Well, it is not inspiring. It's deeply saddening. What it actually represents is a systemic failure to provide a fair starting line. Every single person deserves to be lifted out of poverty, which brings us to a really key concept, the true financial baseline. See, money is simply a base level requirement for human dignity and comfort. You absolutely need a specific, attainable amount of it to secure a decent living standard. We're talking about a decent house, solid medical insurance, good education for your kids, and just the ability to buy basic groceries without feeling a knot of anxiety in your stomach. But here is the kicker. The data shows that beyond this baseline, the returns on happiness diminish rapidly. Once you have your basic needs comfortably met, having 10 times more money absolutely does not equal having 10 times more happiness. But try telling that to the internet, right? We are constantly bombarded by this toxic social media hustle culture. You see these motivational gurus running targeted ads, pushing the narrative that if you aren't a multimillionaire by age 30, well, you're a total failure. They relentlessly push this idea that becoming incredibly wealthy is the sole purpose of human existence, and it turns the simple, honest act of earning a living into an obsessive, never-ending competition. So what is the true currency of a successful life? Let's put this into perspective with a slightly humorous but really poignant comparison. Mukesh Ambani might have unimaginable, mind-boggling wealth, but on a Monday morning, he is highly likely trapped in endless, high-stress corporate meetings. Meanwhile, an average person who has simply decided to choose time over excess money has the freedom to sit back and listen to their favorite band for 4 straight hours. Having control over your own time, now that is a luxury that even the most powerful billionaires might secretly envy. To truly wrap our heads around this immense value of time over money, we really need to look at the work of Bronnie Ware. She was an Australian nurse who worked in palliative care. That means she spent her days caring for terminally ill patients in the final weeks of their lives. She started recording the final thoughts, the deep reflections, and the regrets of these patients who knew their time was almost up. And her findings? They are incredibly revealing. Let's just slowly walk through these profound regrets. Number 1. Wishing they'd had the courage to live authentically, not just doing what others expected. Number 2, wishing they hadn't worked so hard and missed out on family time. 3, wishing they'd expressed their feelings more openly. 4, wishing they had stayed in touch with old friends. And 5, wishing they had simply allowed themselves to be happier. Do you notice a theme here? They focus entirely on human relationships, personal authenticity, and inner joy. None of it is about the hustle. And this brings us to the ultimate takeaway from everything we've unpacked in this explainer today. On their deathbeds, facing the very end of their existence, not a single person regretted that they didn't hustle harder. Not one person wished they had earned more money. When the clock finally runs out, the balance of your bank account, the brand of the car in your driveway, and the square footage of your house are entirely meaningless. So what's the actual game plan? How do we live a good life? Well, finding true purpose involves what Gautam Buddha called the middle way. You don't need to renounce the world or go live in a cave. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your comforts. But you absolutely must reject the perpetual cycle of consuming, hoarding, and constantly comparing yourself to others online. True meaning, real freedom, is found in sharing, helping others, having a real sense of purpose, and just doing what you truly enjoy. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder as you log off today and evaluate your own life's priorities. When you eventually reach the end of your timeline, what will you wish you had done more of? Are you truly going to regret not buying that luxury watch or that shiny expensive car? Or will you regret not spending an extra afternoon with the people you love? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I highly encourage you to take a step back today and really reflect on what your true definition of success actually is. Catch you next time.